Hello everyone and welcome to WhatCulture Gaming. My name is Jules Gill and I'm joined as ever by Scott Tailford. Now, it might look a little bit different. We are not obviously in the WhatCulture Gaming studio. We are indeed self-isolating and working from home. Hence, we've got a different camera setup and things look a little bit ropey. But we're trying to make the best of a bad situation. Unlike Valve, who are literally the subject of our news today, who are basically looking at money on the table and saying, no thanks, mate, I'm full.
Yeah,
Scott,
it's a little bit
what's
weird.
Going on?
To address the weird setup, we've got like a multi-camera thing. I've been startled in the face.
I don't know which side you're on. Which side are you on?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. But
let's carry on.
We've got some stuff going. But yeah, there's some notes. There's obviously there's the release of Half-Life Alyx, which is doing the rounds at the minute. And then a bunch of different staffers from Valve sat down with IGN and just talked about the fact that Valve have been pretty much missing from gaming for quite some time. And so they touched on all of their major franchises, including Left 4 Dead, Half-Life, and Portal, and just said what's going on with each one. So I'm just going to break these down. So first one, Left 4 Dead, they said that they did briefly explore some Left 4 Dead next-gen opportunities a few years ago, but they're absolutely not working on anything Left 4 Dead related now and haven't been for years. And then they addressed the fact that there was that big leak from a little while ago, and they said that was all part of them testing the Source 2 engine, which is their new age fancy engine. And they said that basically when they were building different types of that thing, a bit of that got out. And it was essentially a rendering test. People thought that they were working on another Left 4 Dead, but it was just them testing stuff. And so, there's another quote about them. We built a lot of different things as part of building Source 2. And some of them were Left 4 Dead related, but all of it was to go towards the game engine. It never ended up being used for Left 4 Dead, which for you, Mr. Jules, you're a large Left 4 Dead fan.
Yeah, so I'm obviously incredibly gutted because it's like one of the biggest calling points for Valve fans has just been, release Half-Life 3, release Left 4 Dead 3. This company seems to have a fear of anything with the number 3 in it. And the amount of people that are still playing the Left 4 Dead games today is ridiculous. Like the amount of modding support that goes into it is crazy as well. Now, I totally understand that they do need to refresh their Source engine because it has been their staple now for years upon years, and it is showing a little sign of wear and tear. I mean, don't get me wrong, it still can look utterly amazing when it's their sort of cartoonized and stylized graphics that they love to do, but fans would love to see a step forward to see what else they can do. It is a real shame that we won't be getting it, and it's been put down so definitively, not even like a crack in the door thing, them saying, no, we definitely haven't been working on it for years and we've got no intention of doing it. That's quite upsetting because to treat an IP with such disdain like that seems a bit odd, doesn't? Do
you think it's weird as well that like at one point they just turned around Left 4 Dead 2 like a year later and then now they just left it alone?
And it was like, and everyone was just like, oh, well, this can't be good because it's only been a year since the previous one. And then people were just going, oh, all they've done is add in melee weapons. But honestly, that game improved so much in such a short time that now it's just a case of, I get that people will probably say, oh, they can't improve on something that's already perfect. But even adding in map packs, even adding in more DLC to support what is already there, and not just relying on the community to keep it alive, would be something.
It's just, I mean, they've got that whole, is it some ex-Valve people are doing Back 4 Blood, which is like their
I'm interested.
fan-made type thing.
Really interested to see where that goes. And plus, obviously, they are not the only group of people that has done this sort of like team-based horde survival games. I mean, one need only look at the fantastic job that Fat Shark has done with the Vermintide games because, oh man, I love Warhammer to begin with. That is nothing that I've never tried to hide. But having the ability to go and smash Rat Skull in like Charlie from Sunny from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, like massive rat smasher. It's brilliant. It's utterly brilliant. So if you need your fix, go for that.
I know that reference is full, but I'm going to assume there's an innuendo, even if it's genuine.
No, this time it's not. For the first time, it's not. It's just a very popular TV show where he basically likes killing rats, or actually he doesn't like killing rats, but he refers to it as Charlie work. This is Jules' work, promoting Vermintide 1 and 2. Definitely get 2.
I think you've mentioned a lot of Vermintide, but do you think like in regards to like if because they've pretty much said we've not been working on it for assumedly like 10 years at this point. Would you take another Left 4 Dead 2 style release, or do you think they need to wait even longer and do something more more fully fleshed out?
The thing is that I wonder what they could do to improve the formula, because it seems so crystallized into what it's trying to deliver that it nails everything that it tries to do. I feel like it would be a case of I'd be happy with a map pack. They introduced a very slight amount of character development in the Passing DLC, which actually shows the crossed paths of the first team of 4 and the newer team that's in Left 4 Dead 2. And that was actually, people responded very well to that. So maybe something that would tie these actions together, or having the ability to select from either group would be fantastic. It's just... I can't ask them to add anything in. I just want more of what I already have, because I truly, truly appreciate the frantic and sort of adrenaline-fueled gameplay that they've managed to create. I don't see that they need to add anything story-wise in, apart from possibly a little bit here and there. I mean,
I don't know why they haven't done just like a remaster. I mean, if they did a remaster collection, but just put it on Switch. Why not?
I mean, again, it just seems like it's money on the table that they're turning down. And I wonder if this is some sort of way of protecting IPs. You know, when you release something so utterly fantastic and then you announce that like further down the line, I think that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is a very good example of this. People are hyping this up to the nth degree, and that worries me in some way, because what if it doesn't live up to those expectations? And it probably won't, because of the amount of people that want something from it. So can I say that they're actually very shrewd and smart by basically saying you've got what you wanted, now it'll be perfect forever because we're not adding to it? Maybe.
Yeah, we'll get to the stuff when they talked about Half-Life. Again, obviously, Half-Life Alyx coming out is that's getting a lot of people to go, okay, you guys do still care about this stuff.
Oh, I mean, Rich and Osley BT been playing it recently, and they're saying that it's the best VR game that's ever come out, and that's actually quite a huge statement, all things considered.
But one thing that they mentioned at IGN, which I picked out, was the Portal VR. So they said that we looked at various IPs, and Portal was one of them, but we didn't get very far with that. It was pretty clear when we looked at Portal as a whole that if we can't do player movement, not as a result of their choice, but by launching them, momentum, standing on things, that sort of stuff, then all of Portal's puzzles, the whole back half of Portal goes away. So they had to think of something alternative, and then over time that just went away again. But generally, what do you think of their push into VR? Because I would have just taken Portal 3 as is.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. I think that it was an interesting choice for them to choose Half-Life Alyx and then come out immediately after and say that this is not going to be continuing the story in any way. They said that they've been very fast and loose with their own continuity for Half-Life. They apparently retcon stuff all the time. So apparently Alyx is a standalone experience and can be interpreted as part of the main narrative or not.
I thought it was in between 1 and 2.
Yeah, but they've apparently said that it's its own thing. Some of the developers have come out and just said it has a story, and yes, it is set here, but you can't also use that if there's any mistakes. They basically done it in case they basically just done it in case there's any mistakes, and again, I think it's quite clever. But Portal VR, while I think it would be fantastic, I really am glad that they haven't made that, because the thought of it would make me motion sick. Imagine just your mate just suddenly dropping you 40 flights through. Oh no, thanks. That would be that'd be. I get motion sick just playing the sit down Until Dawn shooting game.
I was going to say, the test demo on the PSVR Worlds kind of got me as well. But for Portal, that seems, for me, that's again, it's just for me, that's my favorite Valve IP. I like Half-Life, it's fine, but I adore Portal. I love that world. I love the writing in those games. And I kind of wish they did something with it. But they kind of make a whole point of saying that all of these IPs all these different prototypes were put in place so they could perfect this Source 2 engine. And they initially started it they started perfecting it around about 2015. So assumedly going forward, they seem to be getting back into games. Obviously, they have Half-Life Alyx.
You say that, but immediately I saw people going online saying, oh, well, what they're going to do is just update the original games that they've got with this engine so that more can be done by the community with them. And I was like, again, that's clever, because they're approaching it in a different way. They're developing games, but they're actually just retooling and reconfiguring their older games to make them live forever, which is fantastic. but it's not moving anything forward. You're basically just recycling everything, keeping people in the past. But then again, you look at the sales and you look at what the best sellers on Steam are, it's always going to be their top titles that are always breaking bank.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, like something like Left 4 Dead, I think you could put that out as a, Left 4 Dead remastered, whatever the hell you want to call it, stick it on Switch. They might as well sort of retain that fan base, because at this point it's been like, it's 10 years now, which is, verging on long enough for an entire new set of like gamers and an entire new generation to grow up without knowing any of those Left 4 Dead memories. And I'll totally say that I completely missed the boat on Left 4 Dead. I had mates that were into it, but I played the demo and that was it. And so I know it's a big deal, but if this came out, I would finally jump into it. I just completely missed it at the time. But if they do the source-based remaster or re-releases, like that would be a great way to sort of rejuvenate those IPs. I don't think something like Portal needs it, but maybe something like Left 4 Dead could.
Yeah, I mean, again, I feel like there's so many options that they could take. It's very surprising to see them basically go counter to what every other publisher would do. They are still making money hand over fist with Steam. They're in no financial straits to do that, and they've got loads of other stuff that they are technically working on at the same time. I just hope that this is kind of like when Final Fantasy VII got that tech demo, and then people for ages just wanted to do it, and then the remake was announced a couple of years later, and people then looked at it and just said, was Sony testing us to see how much would be generated from it?
I know, and that kind of became the thing with like Shenmue 3 and stuff as well. So you put some feelers out and it can eventually come true. I think that, Valve, they know that when a Valve game comes out, it's a big deal. Like, it's not so much in the console space because we just aren't as familiar with them they're not a consistent presence in the console space, but it's mainly because they've been doing so much VR stuff. But hopefully this is a step towards them being a more regular dev. One of the last things is he just talks about Half-Life in general and says that they had various attempts at different sort of sequels and different things they would do with the IP. All of them got canned. Maybe it was to do with the engine work even before 2015. But he does say that you should think of Alex as our return to this world and not the end of it. So maybe Half-Life 3 at some point. I
mean, I know that somewhere just even mentioning that Rich Hudson's popped a massive tent in his trousers. Like, it's the fans of Half-Life are some of the most passionate gamers that I've ever seen. They love this world because of how little almost they've been shown of it. Like, there is these huge expansive games and we've seen a lot of action, but there's so many unanswered questions that make it perfect for this sort of like cultish following to go around and fill in the blanks, as it were.
Yeah, I'm hoping that I can't play Alex, I don't have access to it, but if they ever do a port onto something else, but in regards to Alex's story, like you said, it's kind of slotted in between some games. They've kind of gone back and forward on exactly how much matters and things like that, but I do hope that somewhere in there is a tease for what might come next. I know Gordon Freeman's not in it, or presumably, but I kind of hope that they've got something, because it seems like a missed opportunity to wait this long and not do something that teases the next like full game, even though Alex is
we already got our tease, mate. We got Death Stranding, had a nice card, didn't we? Oh, that was something.
Bring back Isaac the space biker as some sort of reference. I think that's what Ivan, I think he was called. That's a reference that only like 3 people will get, but you never know. But yeah, for now that just seems to be like, Alex's return to the world, Half-Life's return to the world, and Valve hopefully will do more.
I know it's almost like depressing news, isn't it? Because all we've done is sit here and basically reiterated that they're not doing something with some great IPs, but there's promise in the Source 2 engine. There's promise there, and that's always something to hold on to in these troubling times, at least. So yeah, but obviously if we get anything more, we'll be sure to let you guys know as soon as it breaks. But until then, if you want to continue having a chat with us, because I know that you're obviously probably self-isolating as well, and if not, you should be, please do us all a favor. We're not going anywhere. So come and have a chat with us on Twitter. You can do so with me at RetroJ with a 0, and you can follow Scott at
/LP89.
You are damn right you can. Hope you have a fantastic day, whatever you're getting up to, which should be staying inside. Wash your hands, stay safe. Don't lick the cats or whatever it is you want to get up to. Don't go mad with it all. But we'll speak to you soon. Take care.
Just do what you can. Have a nice time.
Yeah, just have a nice time. Don't stress about it. It's all right. It's going to be fine. Speak to you in a bit. Bye.
Bye.